So I remember when I decided to use the no contact rule for the first time with my ex after our second breakup. It felt really scary. It felt kind of sad even, like I was giving up. And I was almost certain that this wasn't going to work out the way that it did. I was certain that I'd probably never hear from her again, and I had no idea what was actually about to happen. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life. And like I mentioned in the last video, I found this old journal about the second time my big ex and I actually broke up and got back together again. If you remember from a previous video I did about our first breakup, I didn't really learn a whole lot of lessons. It was basically just circumstance that brought us back together again. But the second time we got back together is an entirely different story. It had a whole lot more intentionality behind it. When I was trying to connect with her in December after we had broken up and I'd returned back from that trip to Italy, I was trying to reconnect with her and it just wasn't working out. It was just not working out. She was angry at me. She was closed off. She was distant. She was intentionally trying to close off her emotions in her heart and all of that sort of stuff. And then she did a couple things. She actually uninvited me to this play that we were going to go see for Christmas, The Nutcracker. And then she actually also asked me to buy alcohol for her friends because I was the only one in our little group that was over the age of 21. They were all under 21, so they couldn't buy alcohol. And so she asked me to do that for this New Year's party that I wasn't even invited to. It was at this point that I decided, okay, I'm just going to do no contact. I've had it. I don't know who you are anymore. I'm just going to do it. I went ahead and I sort of limped through this whole experience for, a few weeks, not really knowing what to do, not really knowing what was on the other side of it. I was pretty certain I'd never hear from her again. I was pretty certain this was going to be it. I did this because interacting with her felt worse than just not being in contact with her. Just having this thought that she was using me or stringing me along or trying to take advantage of me in some way, it just hurt so much. And in fact, I actually sort of gave her the gift of having to live with that herself. Because, she knew that it was kind of a low sort of dirtbag thing to do to, ask your ex-boyfriend who you're not inviting to this party to buy booze for you and your friends. I just sort of left it with that. So she had to kind of sit with that. And so it felt bad for both of us. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. Just gonna let it go. I proceeded to wait and just sort of move on with my life as best I could. I literally thought I would never see or hear from her again. So I was just doing what I could do to move forward with my life. The next, New Year's had come and passed. The next year had begun. I'd started the term at school again and was doing my best to make friends, connect with people, get out and do things, all that sort of stuff. And then I got this really panicked email from her where she said that she missed me. She couldn't stand being away from me. She was tired of this game that we were playing. She didn't want to get back together, but she was so heartbroken. I wrote back to her and said, hey, I'm in the middle of class right now. I can't talk to you right now, but if you're available, we can talk on the phone later tonight. And so that night when I got off my final class, we actually got on the phone and talked. And she was sobbing in tears just from a few weeks of not talking. And she said that she missed me. She didn't know even where I was or what I was doing or she had no idea what my life was like, and it was really upsetting to her. And this was absolutely shocking to me because just a few weeks prior she didn't care. She was uninviting me to events because she was worried that people would think it was awkward that I'm there, or that it'd be sending me the wrong message, or that it would be hard for her to keep that emotional distance from me, or whatever. She was asking me to, buy alcohol for her friends because she couldn't and they couldn't either. She was, doing all of these things that were really out of character for her. And now suddenly, here she is, literally in tears. I could barely understand what she was saying because she was sobbing so much when she was talking to me because she missed me. No contact can be helpful. It absolutely can. That's the whole point of this. But unlike what some other people have said here on YouTube, some other channels, not everyone needs to do no contact. That's one thing that I've said in many previous videos, is that not everyone needs to do no contact, and I definitely mean that. But in this case, it made sense for me because interacting with her felt bad for me, and it felt bad for her too. She was living out of alignment with her values and her character, and I was like, whoa, who is this person? I thought that you were this wonderful, sweet, charming woman, and now I'm finding out that you're trying to manipulate me, trying to use me, not really taking my feelings into consideration, being very selfish, all this sort of stuff. And so it made a lot of sense for us to go out of contact. And, during this time, it was really a leap of faith for me. So again, not everyone needs to do it. I'd really only recommend you do it if being in contact with your ex isn't helping you and it's not helping them, and it feels bad for both of you to actually be in contact with one another. This of course is just one slice of the story about how me and my big ex got back together that second time, but I did want to share this to you because there are some lessons, and this is one of the lessons that you can learn from that. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with you and ask what your opinion is about no contact. Should everyone do it? Has it been useful for you? Have you done no contact? What's been your experience with it? Go ahead and leave a comment down below letting me know what you think, or go ahead and check out this video series over here about my take on the no contact rule. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.